and there's 25, 30 people, men, grown men outside, noonday, middle of the week. Nobody's working, but they straight chilling. Okay? That gives you just a prime example of what I was dealing with. Music was playing everywhere. Boom boxes. I ain't seen a real boom box since my early years, okay? Boom boxes. Music. I would not have been there if it wasn't for that inspection. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the pros and cons of doing construction field inspections. A lot of you are already doing it, and if you are, then I know that you probably have a few little stories that you can tell and drop in the comment section as well. But for those of you who don't, and you are thinking about doing construction field inspection, and you're just wondering what it is out there to expect, what's going to happen, is it going to be easy, is it going to be as breezy as the homes, I am here to tell you that there are some pros and cons, and I am going to share the ones that I have and that I have listed right now with you. I'm going to do my best to be as brutally honest as I can so that you guys can understand the other side of field inspections. So we're going to start with the cons because, you know, those pros is what help us keep going. So my first con that I have is you will never be able to decide where you want to go. And what I mean by that is you can't call the company that you have contracted with and tell them, I want to go in such and such area over there, put me over there. Most of the time they will ask you for your zip code areas and what areas do you want to work. But within that area, it's bound to be something in there that you didn't know was there and you're going to find yourself a part of, okay? And some companies will give you a list of work. And once you get that work, you can actually see the addresses anyway. So when you click on the address or you copy paste it into Google and take a look and see where it's going, you already know if you want to do it or not. If you are very familiar with those areas and you decide this is not what I want to do, please feel free to open your mouth and let them know, because these companies are not trying to put you in a situation where you can possibly get hurt or injured or be worried for your life or anything of that nature. Which brings me to con number 2, is that sometimes these companies will send you to locations that you most definitely would not go if you were not doing work. Okay? Prime example, the other day I went to a location, and let me tell you something. Let's go ahead on and get this straight. I am not knocking where anybody lives and what you do with yourself every day, okay? But when you get to a location and you roll up and there's 25, 30 people, men, grown men outside, noonday, middle of the week, nobody's working, but they straight chilling, okay? That gives you just a prime example of what I was dealing with. Music was playing everywhere. Boom boxes. I ain't seen a real boom box since my early years, okay? Boom boxes. Music. I would not have been there if it wasn't for that inspection. Now, was I in danger? Of course not. These people were wonderful. They talked nice. They was helping me get my stuff together. They were just like anybody else. But if I would have been told to go there and it wasn't an inspection and I had just pulled it up online, I would have said no. So sometimes you cannot judge a book by its cover, is what I'm telling you. But at the end of the day, they will send you places that you might have chosen not to go on your own. All right, so let's just keep going. Con number 3, the travel. A lot of you are actually doing a lot of traveling. You are getting in your cars and you're traveling way off distances, and some of you are worried that if you sign up for construction work that you're going to be traveling way off somewhere and you don't want to do it. Is it going to make sense? Even if they do pay a decent amount of money, I done traveled this far, but I done spent gas and I come back, and what if I have a tire problem? What if this and all of these different things? Let me tell you something. You do not, once again, have to go that far if you choose not to. You have to open your mouth. Prime example. I received one and this inspection was 85 miles away. And I didn't know it at first. I just knew that zip code was not familiar to me. And then I just really took a good look at it. Let me go ahead and see what this is. I went in and looked at the little town. I was like, what is that? I ain't never heard of that. I mean, I know I'm not a native of LA, but wait a minute now. I've been here long enough to know that is not right. So I Googled it, went in there and put it in there, and it was 85 miles away. And I politely wrote them and let them know. I don't know if this was a mistake or whatever, but it is 85 miles from my house. That's almost 100 miles. I'm not driving that far. Please reassign. And guess what? They reassigned just like that. But that is most definitely a con. If you don't like to travel, I suggest that you either think it through or be prepared to open your mouth. Handle it. That's all you got to do. Con number 4, okay? Dealing with the insureds. They're either out of the country, a lot of them, they're out of town, they're in town, but they're super busy, or they see you writing them, they see you calling them, and they're ignoring you as though the houses. They all do the same thing. That's because a lot of them are going to say that they thought it was a scam. A lot of them don't feel like it's a scam. They just don't feel like they should have to do the inspection, okay? But it is what it is, and guess what? It does not work the same as it does with a house. And you call these people and they don't want to act right, you may end up holding that file for weeks, okay? Because eventually somebody else is going to jump in and handle the situation for you. It's still the same timeline, you know, as far as making the calls or trying to get the agency involved. And then you have to let somebody else know who's bigger than you inside of the company, because you just contracting to get the work done. It's not your job to chase these people like that. So you let them know, and then you put the file away, and they handle the rest. I put mine away. I put problem file written on it, and call it a day. It's over to the left. I don't have no problem with that no more. And then eventually, probably the next week or so, I'm going to get an email or a call from somebody from the company that says, we finally got somebody who's ready to do the inspection. They want to set up an appointment, and they gave me a number for you to call. Apparently, these construction inspections are way more important or something as far as getting them done, because they do not get rid of them and run them off like that. It's going to have to be a dire situation as to why. Like, for instance, the address is wrong. Other than that, they are not going to let those inspections go without being done. Con number 5 is setting appointments. These appointment times can go so long. You're dealing with the insurance, some of them are they could be so, I don't know the word for it, but some of them, and I don't want to put them in a category, but some of them are, it's just, that's it. That's all I can say. They just, and they own these companies, and some of them wear it up on their shoulders, I am, and this is who I am, and what do you want, little person? Okay, let's just move on. Let's talk about these pros, okay? The first pro is construction pay higher than doing homes. Okay, y'all already know that, and it always depends on the company. I worked for one that I had to cut loose, but they was only paying $50 per location, and I know that you're saying $50, that's still enough. If you go and if you can get it done in less than an hour, you done made $50 an hour. If you can mess around and get it done in 30 minutes, you've made $50 in 30 minutes. I get that. That's why I decided to work for them. But at the same time, what had happened was they were giving me work that was in locations, and they was clearly not construction, okay? They were not as truthful. And even in the midst of that, their paperwork was horrid, okay? This is not an exaggeration. The paperwork is so much paper, okay? And if you're familiar with inspections at all, you know that most of them will have you to do a recommendation. If you say that they didn't do an update on the electrical, all right, then it's going to automatically generate a recommendation. This company does not generate recommendations for anything. And they'll send you to some of the broke downest places that you could have ever went to in your life, okay? And you're looking at this place like everything in here needs to be wrote up. But you have a list of pictures that they want you to take, and you're taking those pictures. So from what they're telling you to do, you can't make a person clean up some stuff, but the recommendation could be to move the bin, move the trash bin, get the oil stain up off the ground. If those dents in the gate needs to be repaired. Like, how would I know that? Then they'll hold it for 2-3 weeks. And you thinking you're getting paid, and then you'll get a send back. So you know what? Companies like that, no, that's not going to work. But you do have those at the same time who pay you decent. So these ones that pay decent, and when we talking about 100 plus for locations, and I go to locations every day, and these locations that I hit, sometimes I roll through and the person who I meet, they be great, okay? That is most definitely a pro. They're waiting, they're on time, they're punctual, okay? We jump and go through these pictures and stuff together. And they do the paperwork while I'm doing the pictures. And if they got questions, I throw the questions out. And we just handle it all together at the same time. And I be and up out of there, okay? And be done made that money. And when I get home, that is one of the cons. The paperwork. When you have to input that paperwork, you're going to have to be very strategic when it comes to your papers. When it comes to how you're going to put the forms into the system. When it comes to what days you're going to do it, what time of the day you're going to do it, all of those things. And everything that I do and how I do to make things work for me so that it doesn't burden me down so bad, because at first it was becoming very overwhelming. I'm going to share all of that in another video with you guys. So please stay tuned. So anyway, let's just move on. You don't have to worry about animals and homeowners. I know y'all wasn't thinking about I was going to say that, did you? Animals and homeowners. When you're doing construction, there's no animals for you to deal with. You're going to apartments. You're going to hotels, motels. You're going to shopping plazas. You're going to restaurants and bars. You are not dealing with the fact that the homeowner don't want you to come in, pull your shoes off, all of that stuff. You don't have to worry about making yourself known as, like how I was always saying I wear the vest. I don't wear the vest no more like I was when it comes to construction. I get cute because I don't have no reason to. Okay, I have my clipboard and my file. I have my ID badge hanging on my clothes. And when I walk up, they are ready. You get the ultimate respect when you show up on site. And those of you who do the work, you already know what I'm talking about. They are very respectful of you when you show up on the site, because they know at the end of the day, if they don't get this right, their insurance could be canceled. And nobody wants to be bothered with that. Either cancel or it's going to go way, way up. Okay? I was about to give y'all the third time about one time an insurer called me weeks later. But you know what? That's another story. Okay? But yeah, always remember, when you start making an appointment, these people got your numbers. They don't forget about you. They'll call you. Okay? Anyway, it allows you more time because you are the owner of your schedule. You set your appointments. You decide what days you want to work. You make all of the decisions. Nobody makes them for you. If you don't want to work on Monday, you don't have to. If you want to work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can. You are in full control. Just be very strategic on how you do it, and you can make this thing work how you want to make it work and still make the money that you want to make without working yourself to death. You want to go out of town and see your family? You can do that because you are in control. Because you are what? An independent contractor. You have contracted with these people to do work, and you make the choices. They give you the work, you make the calls, you set your appointments. Man, let me tell you something. It don't get no better than that, okay? And you get to meet some of the greatest people that you ever want to meet in your life. Now, I know you have to be a real people person. Let me tell you something. I have not always been a people person because I could do without you. Okay? I have always been an introvert, and I can chill with the best of myself. Okay? Tell myself all of my secrets. Okay? Dance with myself. Okay? I can do it all. So I know for a fact that if I say that you can meet some of the greatest people, y'all better trust and believe that. Don't let nobody tell you that it's not a good job. Weed out the ones that you don't want to deal with. Keep the ones that you do. Get the book if you don't have the book. Get your resume if you don't have a resume. Don't be afraid to get the book. Start sending your resume out to these companies, because a lot of them are going to give you a chance and you will be surprised. But guess what? You won't know unless you try. Okay? It's more than enough work out here for all of us. And why do I say that? For those of you who think that it's oversaturated, how could it be? Of course it's not oversaturated. Everybody has to have insurance. Everybody. You have to have car insurance, house insurance, business insurance, health insurance. It's insurance on everything. And nowadays it is required. And as long as people are steady living and steady buying and steady starting their own businesses and steady switching out and swapping out, there's going to be always need for an inspector. Don't let nothing stop you if this is what you decide you want to do. I have a video out, if you haven't seen it, and how I made over $4K in 1 month doing field inspections. You may want to check that out. Maybe it'll change your mind. And I also have a quick video of the construction side of inspections if you want to take a quick little dive and see how this all plays out. You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, because I'll be bringing you back something later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your night.